I wanted to go through some tips for shooting video. Creating a polished and professional looking video doesn't mean that you have to spend tons of money on expensive videography equipment. You can become a good videographer just by paying attention to a few key details that may not be obvious at first. But with practice and some awareness, you can improve your videography skills immensely. Mastering several basic video tips is going to ease frustration, and before long, the standard tricks will just become routine, so you'll be able to concentrate on creativity and not just the basics. The first step is to do your research. The more you know about a subject and the better you can tell that particular story. Whether it's an interview that you're conducting or a conversation that you're constructing, you need to know what it is that you're talking about and what sort of important information you want to transmit to your audience. To really do your project justice, create a storyboard with illustrations of your scenes in sequence. This will help you to pre-visualize your final footage and outline your desired shots. It will serve as your guide during shooting and editing. Plus, it can help you determine things like the time of day to do your shoot, or the desired location that you want to shoot at, what types of cameras you'll need, or other equipment. All of these things are important to consider before actually doing the shot. Make sure you have all of your equipment. We live in a time where high-quality digital cameras are made to be affordable for personal and recreational use. You can practice videography with your own phone. If you're going to be shooting with your phone, keep these things in mind. Use the back camera for better quality footage. Shoot in landscape mode, horizontally rather than vertically. When you shoot, it's important to keep your phone steady, so use a tripod or prop your phone up on something stationary. One of the main reasons that viewers lose interest in a video is lack of storytelling. A single image or a short video clip can make a profound statement. Change your focus from one subject to another or build drama with interesting lighting. Build emotion into the story and keep the attention of the viewer. Choose a premise that people can relate to. Add a bit of conflict, and finally conclude with some kind of resolution. These are all basic elements of storytelling, but it's up to you to decide how to present it within the setting of your own unique vision. You may also want to consider your audience demographic. Who exactly are you making the video for? The choices are up to you, but it's important to consider these things prior to shooting. Video storytelling is a visual medium. To use it to its full capacity, you must immerse the viewer into the world as if they are the ones witnessing the action. Let them find their conclusion and form their own opinions. That way, there's a greater sense of satisfaction, letting them discover it on their own. So your goal is to show instead of tell. Think about the different sorts of shot: wide, medium, tight. These can be used to help establish location and mood. What you show is as important as how you show it. Every tool in your cinematic arsenal needs to have a reason or motivation for being used. One of the biggest secrets to achieving professional-looking videos is to use lighting for your storytelling. Try to be intentional about your lighting. Determine the types of lights that you'll need and where you're going to place them to achieve the effect that you want. If you're working on a budget, then work with existing lights, like lamps or the sun. Think of how you can make it work for your particular scene. If you want a dramatic-looking scene, you'll want shadows in the right places. On the contrary, having plenty of light can add cheer and add an ethereal feel, depending on your light placement. A lot of times people think that shooting outside is going to be easy because the sun provides the lighting. But to get the best outdoor results, you have to watch the position of the sun carefully. Shoot with the sun at your back if you're recording people. Sometimes they may complain about looking directly into the sunlight, but assure them that the shots will be much better than if they were silhouetted against the sun. The time of day and the weather should also influence your shooting. Some types of shooting will be better on an overcast day, while others will be enhanced by the golden hour. Sometimes you'll have to reschedule your outdoor shots and wait for just the right conditions. If you're shooting indoors, you have to also carefully consider lighting. If you ignore lighting when you're shooting inside, it can make your videos look dark. That's why indoor shots require additional preparation. Adding lights is ideal. If that's not possible, check out the available lighting sources, and if you're shooting videos of people, get as much light in their faces as you can. But don't be fooled by overhead lights. While they may be bright, they only light the tops of people's heads, leaving their facial features shadowy. Keep the background simple. Don't just film anywhere. Make an effort to use a simple background or improve it by removing as much clutter as you can. Use as many solid color backgrounds, be it a wall or a sheet or a backdrop, and place your subjects a few feet away from it to avoid casting a shadow. The key is to minimize elements that will make the scene look cluttered and take attention away from your subject. Although there are themes and storylines that benefit from having a cluttered scene, you may want to focus on improving your videography with the basics and then level up and experiment from there. Taking time to use proper framing and composition can really improve your shot. What many beginners don't realize is that good videography involves more than just aiming your camera at your scene or subject. It involves arranging and allowing visual elements to tell the story. It also means changing your camera's framing in order to make the scene look pleasing. Among the most important cinematic videography tips and compositional rules is the rule of thirds. This is where you place your subject's head a little higher, not at the center of the frame, and give them visual breathing or walking space when facing the sides. Another is to remain on the same side of two people talking and taking over-the-shoulder shots. Also, having a foreground and a background to create depth with the scene is crucial. Keep your camera steady. If possible, use a tripod. A tripod is an easy answer to producing steady video, but avoid becoming dependent on it. You can shoot steady video without lugging around a lot of gear. Use your surroundings. You can prop your camera up on something or lean against a wall to steady yourself. Get your body in position so that every breath you take doesn't lead to unwanted camera motion. Use the ground, a wall, or another object to brace the camera and get interesting visual perspectives. By ditching the tripod, you have the freedom of moving around a scene without being anchored to one spot. Don't constantly zoom in and out or pan left and right. In general, you want to record at least 10 seconds of each shot. Let the action in the frame speak for itself. When video moves too much, the results can leave viewers seasick. If you're recording an action scene, let the motion that's happening naturally dominate your video. Stop yourself from adding random zooms and pans, which distract from the action. There are times to zoom or pan, such as sporting events, but as a general rule, let the action dictate the movement. The angles that you use to capture your content have a huge influence on mood and perspective. The major angles used by filmmakers are low, high, bird's eye, and over the shoulder. The low angle perspective is achieved by placing the camera below the level of the eye line and looking up at the subject. This is known as the heroic angle because the subject appears to tower over everything and seems larger than life. A high angle sees the subject from slightly above. It's often used to provide a sense of the surroundings. However, when used properly, it also allows the subject to appear more vulnerable. A bird's eye view is often taken from very high above and often captured with a drone. It allows the viewer to get a larger view of the surroundings and a high-angle perspective. The over-the-shoulder view is often used when characters are talking to one another or to show something one character sees but the other doesn't. When you're shooting scenes, make sure to get different angles so that you'll have choices in the editing process. For example, if you're videotaping a protest, get the widest angle possible, perhaps on the top of a building looking down at the crowd, and then get close-ups of the faces in the crowd, and some medium shots of people from the ground level. Again, Don't forget that 10-second rule when recording each shot, but having a mixture of shots will allow you to create more interest in your end video. Good audio is an essential complement to high-quality videos. Without it, your video may turn out useless. The two most common mistakes inexperienced videographers make are they forget to record the audio or they fail to monitor the sound they're getting. Imagine capturing only silent video of a party. You may be able to see people singing and laughing, but without hearing it, the video is ruined. Monitoring the sound helps you to avoid recording unwanted extra audio. This can happen when you're focused on an interview with someone, for instance, and you might not notice that you're standing near a loud air conditioner. When you watch the video later, all you're going to hear is the hum of the AC unit, which drowns out what the person is saying. If possible, it's best to plan on using dedicated audio rather than the mic that's built into your camera. Especially if you're doing a scene from far away, you won't be able to capture the sound adequately. Think about how you want to frame your shot and how you want to capture the audio. Do you need ambient noise as well? Is there only one person talking? Does it matter if the mic is visible or not? You'll want to carefully consider the audio and make sure that you're aware of all of the possible nuances that could affect your final product. If you follow these tips, you'll be well on your way to creating good video. It does take time and practice, and I encourage you to make a lot of test shots and watch what it is that you're filming. You'll learn a lot from reviewing scenes that you've shot, and this will affect how you're going to shoot in the future.